He's done the Seattle and San Francisco comedy competitions. I've seen him a couple times over the last week. He's really funny. You guys give it up for Mr. Josh Giordano.
Hey, make some noise for Rhino too, will ya? That's my favorite show that is Lingo, by the way. Make some noise. Kind of a vague thing to ask a group of strangers, is it not? Right? When somebody asks you to make some noise, they're not asking you to make just any noise. There's like 2. Applause and woo! Maybe ow! That's pretty much the gamut of the make some noise request, I believe. You guys seem pretty cool. I think I can open up to you. I have a secret hope. One day I'll be in a show and somebody will say that from the stage. And everybody in the audience will have never been to a show before, but they're all really groovy and open-minded. And everybody just makes their own noise. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. If somebody busted out Tom Jones unsolicited from the crowd, I think that I would take off my panties and gingerly toss them to that person. Which is why I wear it for men's underwear on stage every night. You guys seem pretty hip. I'm into a lot. I'm kind of a music junkie. You know, there's always new bands coming out. You have to like kind of keep up on that. There's this one band I've been listening to a lot lately. They're so incredible. And it's hard to describe their music because they have a really eclectic sound. They're called Spotify, but they're so good. It's like you hear one song and it sounds like Arcade Fire, and then like the next song sounds like James Brown, like exactly like James Brown. And then the next song sounds like an ad for Target. These guys are tight, man. Spotify. Check them out. I think they're gonna be big. I do live in California where pot is legal-ish. And it's pretend legal. And it's full-on legal now in Washington and Colorado. And it's gonna be just regular legal everywhere in the next few years, I think. Doesn't really matter. You know, if you love smoking pot, you will find and smoke pot. Like, that's always been the case. You know, nobody's ever said, "Oh, my friend gave me this joint for my birthday, but it's illegal." I want to be groovy, but the laws of the land are more important. But the interesting thing about pot being legal is that, like, that means that, like, in the future, like 20 years from now, there are going to be parents who sit their kids down and say, you know, you kids have it so easy. When I was your age, when we wanted pot, we had to call a guy. We couldn't just go down to Costco and get a bunch. Sometimes we would have to wait 3 or 4 hours until we got our pot. And we'd have to hang out with the guy. Have you ever sat and listened to an hour and a half of Dave Matthews getting colors on acoustic guitar to get your drugs? No. You don't suffer for your drugs. And you know what we used to have to do our pot? We used to have to smoke it. Yeah, we couldn't get it in a soda or a lip balm or a topical cream. Smoking is bad for you, Bobby. Don't you ever let me catch you smoking your pot. You eat it or drink it or rub it on yourself like everybody else. That is how we get high in this house, young man. If I find out you've been smoking your pot, you will lose your spaceship privileges. And when you want to take your robot girlfriend and watch a poor person get executed, you'll be on the bus, mister. It's the future in this joke, right? Did I make that clear? Because that's really important. And I'll just address this. I'm wearing a pink shirt. If you want to make a thing about that, please fuck off. Please. It's fun. It's interesting. Like, if you're a guy and you wear a pink shirt, even though it's, you know, supposedly somewhat fashionable or whatever, which I don't give a shit about, but people will give you shit if you're a guy wearing a pink shirt, and they won't come out and say anything directly. You know, they'll just be like, ha ha, this is a pink shirt. Ah, you're wearing a pink shirt. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? Ah, pink. Which is ridiculous. I mean, that's that's not a thing. In case you were wondering, that's not a real thing. You know, like there's not a biological imperative of women and gay guys to pink and guys to blue. Like that's a totally made up thing. All that is 50 years ago, baby clothing manufacturers said like, all right, we're gonna market baby clothes. Pink to girls, blue to guys. That's all that is. And like, there's an unspoken double standard too, because like no one's ever given a woman shit for wearing blue, right? Ever. Nobody's ever gone up to a woman wearing a blue shirt and be like, aha, you're wearing blue. I know what that means. Yeah, you're gonna march in tonight, huh? You gonna do it? It's weird. And people think I'm gay sometimes, which I totally do not mind at all. There's no negative things about that. It's actually gotten me a tremendous amount of ass. It has. I would say it is second behind being a funny comedian. And not bad looking. It has gotten me. But it's weird. I mean, part of the thing is I grew up without a dad. So I don't have like a real, macho thing. I know you're like, no, but you're a tough guy. It's nice that you said that. Audience in my head. But, what's weird, I don't have like this same thing that a lot of guys have. I don't know if it's because I grew up without a dad or just what, but I don't have this like proving my manhood thing that like a lot of guys seem to have. Like the way that I prove my manhood is like just, on an individual basis with my dick, like one lady at a time. I think that's how it's supposed to, or, whatever, one dude at a time if you like to prove your manhood at guys or whatever. But, the fight or flight response, I'm 100% flight. Well, I mean, seriously, if there's a situation where there's like a, potential skirmish and fisticuffs may present themselves, I will run. Seriously, I will scurry from any possible fisticuffs. And, and if I'm with a lady and I have to defend the honor of the lady, I'll take her with me, I'm not a monster. But, it'll be like, come on, honey, let's go to that bar across the street or have a really nice creme brulee. And I can't do dirty talk. I don't know if you guys are even old enough to have learned dirty talk, but I can't do that. When it's foisted on me, I get weird. I only think of just like bad 70s porn acting, And the woman's, oh yeah, give it to me. I'm just like, oh, you're a bad actress. And there's just nothing more annoying than having dirty talk forced on you, or like trying to get somebody to. The hardest question for me to answer is, do you love my pussy? I can't. And not that I don't, I'm fond, certainly. But it's just, how do you answer that question? Especially when it's somebody you haven't been with. Like a lot, I just sort of feel like saying, I like your pussy as a friend, I just recently met your pussy, like to maybe hang out, get some coffee or something. Sometimes I feel like saying, I do love your pussy, kind of on the fence about you though. It's a package deal, no way to legally separate the two. All right, I'll leave you with this idea. There's a problem I'd like to address real quick. I'd like to talk for a second about eating pussy. I think it's wrong. Let me explain. It's not a moral or an ethical issue, and it's something I'm pretty good at. But grammatically, eating pussy, wildly inaccurate. You're not eating. If the pleasure of a woman is involved, no, sir, you are not eating. I will say no one in this room has ever eaten pussy. Perhaps you've tasted pussy, but listen, if you do this thing, you're down there for 45 minutes, you do the best job ever, you leave no stone unturned. That's a very weird metaphor. There's just not a significant amount of digestion that occurs. 1.2 ounces, maybe 1.4 if you're lucky, and even then, technically you're drinking pussy juice. Or pussy blood. Oh, unless you're a coward. Thanks, good night.